Hi, my name is Emily Carrington, and I'm talking to you from the living room of my house on the west coast of Canada in British Columbia. I'm really happy to be able to let you know that my first graphic novel, Our Little Secret, is coming out on March the 15th through Drawn and Quarterly, and it's available to pre-order now. It's a book about experiences I had when I was 15 years old in the early 1980s. I was sexually molested by my much older neighbor, and it talks a little bit about the events that came up to it, the events itself, and the aftermath, as well as my attempts to get justice through the legal system. So who did I write Our Little Secret for? Well, I'd like it if everybody read my book, but basically there's two kinds of readers. One is people who have been sexually abused as children. And for those readers, I'd hope they'd find something in it that resonated with them, something that helped them feel like their story was being seen and heard as well. And maybe even something that would help them find positive ways to move forward from what happened themselves. The second kind of reader is people who have not been sexually abused as children. And for those type of readers, I would hope that they would develop a greater understanding of what happens, the grooming process, the sexual abuse, and the aftermath of what happens, which can, in some cases, cause negative consequences for years or even decades. So there's a couple of horses in this book. One is the horse I ride, and the other is the one Dad took to the woodlot to take logs out of the woods to build his log house. So I'll show you how I would draw something like that horse there. So first I'd start with pencil and do a couple of circles, and then an oval, and then a line for the back of the neck. So why did I choose to write a graphic novel? Well, I've done drawing and painting in the past, and I've taken some courses on writing and poetry. But I found with the writing and poetry that it wasn't enough to tell the story. I felt that even after writing about what happened, there was still a lot that was trapped inside me, and I felt I didn't know how to get it out. But with the comics medium, I found that I could get everything out. I could tell every part of the story. And that freed me up from the parts that were trapped inside, and I was able to get them all out. So on this page, we have a drawing of my dad making us pancakes on the wood stove at one of the farmhouses we lived in. I'm just going to do a little drawing, show you how I draw. So Our Little Secret, in a lot of ways, it was a difficult book to write, difficult topic and hard to remember a lot of the stuff in it. But overall, it was a really good experience, and I'm extremely grateful to Drawn and Quarterly for publishing it. And also I wanted to say how grateful I am for my parents when I was little to encourage me to draw and to read. And also I was very fortunate to have a grade 12 art teacher, Megan Power, who was really good and encouraging me to draw. And then Langara College in Vancouver for the great teaching, the great instructors they had there, really made it possible for me to do this book. So I hope that you can join me for the live event coming up in March. I'll talk a little bit about the process of drawing, the materials that I used, and the resources I used for writing the book, and show you my workspace and answer any questions that you might have. I hope to see you then.